You mentioned about the little helicopters. Would it be possible? My question is around sustainability. Would it be possible to bring ayahuasca vines and their adjunct plants to other forests and grow them sustainably, or are they sort of niched into the Amazon and we just have to take what we can harvest from the Amazon? Could you talk a little about the ecology of the actual plants themselves?
Well, I'm pretty sure that there are ayahuasca vines being grown pretty much anywhere that they can be grown. They do require a tropical environment, but even then, I could easily see that ayahuasca vines could be kind of taught to adapt to environments that aren't precisely the same as they would be in the Amazon. Um, there's some really like bizarre kind of facts about ayahuasca vines, but in Hawaii, there's a large forest of ayahuasca vines. Like decades old ayahuasca vines have been growing in Hawaii, really thanks to Terrence McKenna. But also in any tropical region, there are ayahuasca vines. There's a lot of ayahuasca vines growing in Australia now, also. So yes, you could definitely, and they should be. There's also like ayahuasca farms now. So the value of ayahuasca is it's one of the most valuable crops you could ever grow. The market value of a sack of ayahuasca is like insane compared to a sack of anything else you could grow. So just like economically, it makes a lot of sense for anyone that has land that could grow ayahuasca to grow ayahuasca, especially because as long as you have a tree, you're probably not going to do much with that tree. You could just grow an ayahuasca vine up that tree, and eventually you could harvest it, and you could sustainably harvest it and continuously produce sacks from one single vine. My first teacher had 3 vines in our backyard, but we would sustainably harvest them. So we would climb up the tree and cut the vines at the very top. And they were small vines in size, but they were, if you have a 40-year-old ayahuasca vine and you climb up and cut the top parts, the newest growth, you still have 40-year-old ayahuasca vine in terms of the maturity of its energy. Which may be like a challenging concept, but not in the indigenous tradition. So you do need a mature vine, but you don't need the base of that vine. That's the oldest part of the vine isn't necessary. Just like my hair isn't 48 years old. But I'm 48 years old, so like everything I've got, in fact, all of my cells of whatever, they're at max, 7 years old or something. But I'm 48 years old. I don't know if that's a good example, but yes, this is sustainable harvest, sustainable farming, all of it is happening and it is possible. A friend of mine named Chris Killam did probably the only sustainability study on ayahuasca, which was pretty extensive. And thankfully he found that there was not any like risk of losing it, or that we were like in a sustainable place right now.
Okay, great. Yeah. Some of the slower growing, maybe the cactus-based ones are more precarious just because they're, such a finely balanced desert ecosystem. You reminded me, we were in Slovenia and we had wine from 400-year-old grapevines, and it was like made by monks who chanted to it, and it was an experience. But there's like something to having really old plants.
Definitely.